Point shoes affect everybody. Even if you're not wearing them, you're still working with them in a ballet environment, and then it has its rewards for everyone.
Pointe shoes to me elevate my artistry, and especially obviously in ballet, literally elevate me off the ground. It just adds a couple more inches of possibility.
It kind of opens up this whole other realm of possibility when you extend the line that much more and you're dancing on toe.
Pointe shoes make me feel more confident. It's just that natural lift that you have to have in pointe shoes.
I do feel like my feet were meant to be in pointe shoes. It's my favorite thing. I probably wouldn't be a dancer if pointe shoes were not a part of it.
They are one of the things that makes ballet dancers so incredibly unique. Mastering dancing on pointe, it's really so impressive. It's a phenomenal aspect of professional ballet dancers.
Sometimes when you find that perfect balance point, it feels like you're flying. I think it's the closest thing we get as humans to that bird-like feeling of freedom.
It becomes like a part of your foot, and it's beautiful. There's no other art form that has anything like that.
Every great contemporary choreographer today is pulled in by the pointe shoe. They don't always use it. Sometimes they prefer another thing on feet, but there's intrigue with the pointe shoe, and there's expression capable through pointe work. And it can be the most groundbreaking and the most innovative choreography that you see, and it's on pointe. And the possibilities are endless because of the turning, because of the sliding, and because of that beautiful airborne elevation that is higher than an ordinary mortal can go on a foot, and a dancer can rise higher, seemingly floating in the air, which was their original purpose.
Pointe shoes are really special. Even on my days off, I'll walk around in the house with my pointe shoes, not because they're super comfortable, but because I know that it'll be worth, if I can break them in, living and walking and standing at home, then in the studios, they'll already feel like an extension of my feet.
People think we wear a pair a year or something like that, even a pair a week, but I'm probably up to at least like 4 a week during the full-length ballets because you need them to be perfect. And I think the cost is also something that people do not see coming. I mean, $90 a pair, how much work and time we put into each pair, the sewing, the breaking in, the gluing, it's a whole process.
I think when I started at Pointe, it surprised my mom how quickly I was going through my shoes. But I've gotten it down to like 3 pairs a week. But, you know, that can be really expensive.
Every single dancer has micro size differences. Everything is so specific, how hard we want them to be, how much glue we want them to have, the angle of our box. It's just so specific to each dancer, and it's really interesting, I think.
Yeah, I remember actually when I got my first pair of pointe shoes thinking, oh, like I've made it. This is what I've worked my whole life, my whole little life up until that point. And then I think it kind of dawned on me very quickly that it was really just the beginning, that, you know, training in pointe shoes, it's a whole other challenge.
I think the most magical moment, though, that I've had with pointe shoes was when they started making pointe shoes in my skin tone. My first year as a PD, I wore pink tights and pink shoes. I was nervous to kind of try something different, but, you know, I look at all the dancers in the company that were, you know, embracing, skin tone pointe shoes and what they wore, so it kind of gave me that push to try it for myself.
When we were participants of the Equity Project, we learned firsthand what it meant for Black and brown dancers to adapt their pointe shoes to their skin tone, dyeing them in their bathroom sinks at home or using tons of makeup to tint their own shoes. And one of the dancers talked about the tools of her profession as a professional ballet dancer absolutely not fitting her. Her tights and her pointe shoes interrupted her natural line, and they made her feel less than. And that has changed a lot because we asked for it over and over again to respect the individuality of our dancers. The conversation around who dances on pointe, who gets the opportunity to train on pointe, really inspired us to look at other forms of inclusion here. Ballet has always been really on a binary, and it started to not make sense for us, particularly when members of our community started to ask to train on pointe. Of course, Peter said, yes, go for it. And that led to a lot of young people wanting to study at PNB.
Everyone's so individual, and there's so many different type of artists. None of us are the same, and I just love that because I think that makes a really well-seasoned and well-rounded company.
You're constantly being challenged in new ways, whether you're dancing in pointe shoes or dancing in socks. To me, that process is really fulfilling and really interesting, and I just love the challenge that it presents.
I feel like I can explore a lot of grounded works, literally on the ground, and then I get to explore the ballet. I get to make an imprint in history, and that feels hugely important.
My favorite thing about dancing at PNB is dancing with my colleagues. They're all so wonderful, and we make every experience just so memorable together.
It's beautiful diversity in our rep, diversity in our people. It really is the most fulfilling thing that I could dream of doing.
To be honest, I don't know where PNB would be without the pointe shoe. I mean, in a sense, everything balances on the pointe shoe if we didn't have it. If we didn't have those provided for us, provided for our dancers, we wouldn't have the rep that we have. We wouldn't have the careers that we have.
Our investment in pointe shoes is really just one of the many ways that we invest in our artists here at PNB, and it shows on stage. Dancers who are listened to and have the opportunity to create with the full range of their own human expression are happier artists, and it feels that way in the audience. But the pointe shoe is really just a symbol of an organizational culture that is really about fostering a place of belonging for everyone, for all of us.